Well, despite a fantastic finish to the week, the Nasdaq is still down more than 20% this year. What's ahead for the tech sector, and can it keep the economy from falling into a recession? Our coverage from Davos continues now with the chairman of North Island and co-founder of Silver Lake, Glenn Hutchins, who's also an economic advisor back for President Clinton and sits on the Boston Celtics executive committee. Glenn spoke with our Andy Serwer.
My working assumption is I think we have to expect a recession in 23. Not projecting that's going to happen, but I think we have to plan for that. I think that's because the inflation that we're experiencing now, 6 to 8%, is roughly half structural or persistent. So I feel like we have a real economy about 3 to 4% inflation, a point or two above the Fed's target. That means the Fed's tightening will have to go on longer and be more durable in order to get that under control. Most of the causes of inflation are not within the are not things that the Fed's tools can really address, and so it feels to me like that. And secondly, monetary policy is a blunt tool, not a surgical instrument. So I think we have to plan for recession. And that has enormous consequences for corporate earnings, which we can come back to if you'd like.
So how does one position oneself then? Or what are you thinking? Or what are you doing?
Well, it depends. So first of all, if you're a company, I think you have to make plans for slowing of consumer spending and your exposure to that. Also for a continuing increase in cost of what you do, whether it's labor or raw materials. And by the way, that's the kind of behavior that the Fed wants to induce. In other words, they want economic activity to slow down in order to bring inflation down. If you're an investor, I think, I talked about this at year end, but I think in anticipation of this, what I've told people is to get out of the frothiest parts of the market, but the market's done that for them. If you're an investor right now, I would expect that if we do end up in a recession, that there will be we've been through a PE tightening already, and when earnings adjust, when the E goes down, I expect a second leg. So I'd be very, very concerned about it, less about valuation-sensitive companies now and more about earnings-sensitive companies.
Shifting gears, we're here at Davos, of course, and you're the chairman of CARE, that NGO, and you were in Poland on the Ukraine border. Quickly, what did you see there, and what was that like? Well,
I spent, in addition to observing our work there, I spent a day volunteering at the border.
Right.
And greeted buses from Kharkiv and Mariupol in particular, and welcomed the refugees into Poland. I met a young woman named Svetlana, who, as far as we could tell, all she had left in her life was the backpack on her back and a big dog at her side. And she said to me, "Why won't you stop him?" And
him being Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, of course. And a principal lecture on geopolitical realities didn't seem, merited. I met another man, 85 years old. He said, in 1941, I fled to Russia to get away from the Germans. Today, I'm going to Germany to get away from the Russians. Those were the bookends of his life.
Yeah, it's really shocking. Shifting gears again, a big topic here besides deglobalization is crypto. And
what's that?
Yeah, well, you're a big crypto investor.
Yeah, I am, yes.
And I want to know what your take is on that.
So, look, I think that crypto is a long-term, hugely important innovation. People think about it as either as about coins or about blockchains. I think it's best understood as a new mode of commerce and a new paradigm of computing. Point number one. Point number two, any new technology like that will go through cycles, ups and downs. There will be good companies and bad. The bad companies will go away. The good companies will thrive. Just like the internet crisis of 1999, Pets.com and Webvan went away, and Amazon powered on to greater success. So the point here is not to diminish crypto, but try to understand what the best companies are and invest in those.
You are a minority owner of the Boston Celtics. They're playing Mike Claudio's Miami Heat over here. And just wondering how sanguine you are about their prospects going forward.
It's a great team, plays enormous team defense. They got a coach that has worked wonders with them. Got an emerging young star named Jason Tatum, the best defensive player in the league. Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. But it's a team, and I'm very optimistic.
That was North Island Chairman Glenn Hutchins speaking with Yahoo Finance's Andy Serwer at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.